awesome.
Green Bay gold here.
What do you think of
Look
that
at
one?
that.
This is so fun.
Got one.
Right.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Matthews Archery and Vortex Optics.
So we are in northern Wisconsin and we're doing a crazy new adventure today.
Yeah.
So we've been talking with our friends Jason and Ashley, Heindls Fishtails. We've been with them for ice fishing, some summer fishing, and you threw the idea to let's go try for muskies in a canoe. I was a little skeptical, but oh my gosh, we are out here on the Wisconsin River and we're just doing an all-day float and seeing what we come about. So what kind of fish would you typically find in the Wisconsin River?
Typically we're catching walleye, smallmouth bass out here, some largemouth bass, musky.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of everything running up and down the river here.
Nice. And there's like nobody out here. It's so quiet, it's so peaceful, so
Isn't
you
it?
kind of have the river to yourself, which is amazing.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna do this. We're gonna get in canoes, we're gonna float, we're gonna try not to tip out. Danielle is gonna try her best to do this, so we're excited and wish us luck. And we're off.
That morning we started out, we were going to do probably about a 10-mile stretch of river. It's pretty windy, it's definitely not a straight stretch of river. So something like that I figured would probably take us the better part of 8 to 10 hours of floating. So we put in on the top half of the river, got started in the morning real early. Fog was kind of coming off the water. Eagles were flying around. It was amazing to see in the morning. Basically, we started the day, we wanted to target musky.
So this is a bait caster reel. This is what we primarily use for musky fishing. The way to use these is when you go to cast, you press the button down, you keep your thumb on the reel at all times, or on the spool I should say, at all times. Your thumb is acting as the brake for the spool. So when you go to cast out, you want to cast the lure and thumb it as it falls back to the water. You don't want to hit the water at full speed or it's going to throw a big backlash in that reel. I won't be mad at you,
Okay.
but we're going to be picking it out for a little while.
Sounds
So.
good. Okay, cool.
Me and Danielle set out for about the first 4 hours of our trip, and we pounded it hard for muskies. We were casting like crazy to no avail. We didn't even get a follow, nothing. So of course we wanted to definitely get something on film and have a fun day overall. You know, we don't want to get skunked all day, so we decided to switch it up after about 4 or 5 hours and like let's do some bass fishing, which is really one of the unique things about the river too. You just never know what you're gonna catch. You never know what you're gonna get on a given day. You can change it by the hour if you want to.
This morning we were fishing the first probably 4 hours for primarily musky, and that was kind of slow going. Not really getting any bites, so we decided now we're gonna change it up and see what we can get. Maybe some bass, maybe get lucky walleye, maybe northern. So we're gonna give this a few hours and see what we can get. We're still floating down the Wisconsin River, up in northern Wisconsin here. So we changed out our poles and we're gonna see what we can find now and go from there.
Smallie.
Woohoo! Nice.
We decided to change it up and we threw on some bass lures and got out of the boats for a little bit and we casted from shore, and that's kind of another unique thing about the trip too. We'll stop in spots and we'll cast from the shorelines, or we're not always in the boats the whole time. We'll get up, we'll stretch, we'll do some casting in some prime spots, and we'll get back in the boats and we'll be back on our way again.
I got one. Woo!
There you go. Very unprepared.
Come here, buddy. Settle down, settle down. Stop moving. He's squeezing out. Not happening, Jason.
All right.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Mission Crossbows and HHA Sports.
We started to float down and catching some bass here and there and starting to have some fun, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, we don't hook into a muskie. And now we got all of our bass tackle on. We got 6-pound test line, little tiny swim tail baits, and this thing came up from behind. Seen it following in, I said something to Danielle. I said, "Hey Danielle, look, we got a muskie following." She looks. When she turned and looked, it was perfect timing that the fish just came up and ate that bait.
Real gentle. Try to get him head first.
Okay. Where is he?
It's way over.
Had to fight the fish real gingerly because of the real light line. So I'm kind of just doing what the fish wanted to do, and we're just kind of doing laps around the boat. And as I'm coming around the boat, Danielle's still got her cast out there, and she starts to, I tell her to grab that pole and reel it in. So she's reeling it in, and we actually got a lucky charm that day. We got a little Nemo fish that we got, and we considered it our lucky charm for the day. We threw it in the boat, and Nemo ended up getting wrapped up in the line. So as you can see on the video, all of a sudden Nemo's up in the line and she's reeling it in, and so we avoided that catastrophe, got everything in, fought the fish around to the side of the boat. Danielle did an awesome job with the net, grabbed the net, got it under the fish, and the rest was history. It was just an awesome experience.
I got him! I'm tangled.
Give me the net.
Yeah. That was awesome. I have a tangled mess over here like you would not believe.
That's all right.
Oh my gosh. Holy smokes.
Right there. Small boats, small rivers, big fish.
That is fantastic.
So they call the muskie the fish of 10,000 casts. So on a normal given muskie day, any of us crazy muskie fishermen are happy to see maybe one fish follow our lure back. Typically if we catch a fish, I mean, that's a great day. And if we get multiple fish, I mean, that's a couple times a year, and it's fantastic, you know. But us as muskie fishermen, being the fish of 10,000 casts, if we see one fish in a day, we're pretty happy with that. So in order to put our hands on a nice muskie that day with 6-pound test line and light bass tackle, it was amazing.
Do you need the net?
I think we're all right.
There you go. There you go. Perfect.
Nice one, nice bass.
He's a fighter.
That's a big one. That's a big fish. Nice.
Woo! Fantastic.
You need pictures with that fish.
Yes. Woo! Think so. I got it.
So we're trucking down the river and started to get into some really nice smallmouth bass, and started to catch quite a few of them actually, and that really kind of capped off our day. We just kept on catching smallies and floating down the river until pretty much until our hands were sore catching fish, and everybody had enough floating for the day, and we floated our way on out of there. And it was probably about probably about a 10-hour trip, and everybody was sore and beat up, but I think everybody had a great time.
Oh, I got one. Come on. Ah! He's a dancer. Ah! That was cool.
Definitely acrobats.
Holy smokes. He was putting on a show. Look at this little guy. 5 hours later.
Fire. That's a big one too.
Come on, you. Oh, is he hooked? Ah! Get it.
Another fatty.
Another fatty.
So we kind of just wanted to go through and talk about what a unique experience this is to do a river float like we did. You don't really get this normally. Normally you book a guide trip, you get put in a great big boat, they shuttle you out with a big motor, all the electronics on the boat and everything. Here it's a very disconnected version of that. We get into small boats, we have no electronics, we just float down the river, we have no gas motors, we're all on electric motors and paddles. Sometimes we even have to get out of the boats and pull the boats due to the fact that the water is maybe only 6 inches deep. So we'll get out of the boats, we'll pull them over the rocks, we'll do whatever we got to do to just keep going down the river. We'll start in the top section of a river, we'll put some vehicles up top, we'll put the boats in, and we'll float to a certain destination on the river, whether it be like a 4-hour trip or a 6-hour trip or an 8-hour trip, whatever the customer wanted to do. Our boats are pretty specialized. As you noticed in the video, we're floating down the river. You'll see wheels on the back of the boat. That's so we can put the wheels down and shuttle the boats kind of into places where we may not even have boat landings, or we just got little trails through the woods to kind of get the boats in. So they're specialized in that way. And another way that they're specialized is we put on stabilizers, which will allow 2 people to stand up in the boat and cast musky lures and not have any issue with the boats wanting to tip on us. Typically when we do that, we'll hook a fish or something. If it's too big of a fish that we can't manage it from the side of the boat, we'll actually take the boats and we'll beach them on the shore, and we'll get right into the water and deal with the fish, which makes for a really special moment to really get a hands-on experience with that fish. When you're sitting there in the water and you're holding a 45 or a 50-inch musky, and it's right in your hands and right at your knees, it's really a special experience. You have this experience with nature that you don't get anyplace else. You're out there, you see deer, you see eagles, you see otters playing in the water, and rarely do you even run across a person going down the river, so it's really unique that way.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Rapala and Mountain Dew. Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Suffix and VMC Hooks.
Okay, hope for the best. Fish on! Did you see Nemo go overboard? Just trying to keep it real with everybody. And I get dumbfounded because I can't control anything at that point because that was intense. Resume play.